report. Now reporting, George Stephanopoulos.
Good afternoon. We're coming on the air now with breaking news. What appears to be a deadly incident in Toronto, Canada, unfolded around 1:30 Eastern Time. Driver in a white van, major thoroughfare, pulled off the thoroughfare in downtown Toronto, started driving down the sidewalk, mowing down pedestrians. According to Toronto police, there you see the white van right there. The suspect now is in custody, but not before plowing down 8 to 10 pedestrians, according to Toronto police. Eyewitnesses on the scene have said that it appears that there are several casualties, several fatalities from this incident. No motive yet, but as we said, the Toronto police say that a suspect is in custody, has been taken from the van. I want to go to our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. Again, Pierre, we don't know what the motive was. We don't know why this driver decided to pull off the road and go down the sidewalk, but we do know this fits a pattern.
It does, George, and U.S. law enforcement officials obviously are trying to get additional information about this situation in which all those pedestrians appear to have been injured, George. And as you said, we've had incidents involving vehicles used as weapons in New York City, in London, in Paris, other attacks like this, George. So obviously, although we don't know the motivation yet, terrorism is something that will obviously be looked at, George.
And presumably justice officials in the United States, Homeland Security officials on alert now?
They are trying to get additional information. We understand that the New York City Police Department has put out a tweet indicating that they're monitoring the situation very carefully. Obviously, George, when you have this many casualties in this kind of scenario, it sends up alarms for people across the globe. There
you see the scene in Toronto right now. Emergency officials on the scene there. That is right in the middle of a major thoroughfare in downtown Toronto. So there you see the shoes, perhaps, of some of the victims, stores, condominiums. And in fact, just a few miles away, foreign ministers from the major G7 countries had been meeting. The acting Secretary of State for the United States, John Sullivan, is there for the United States. I want to bring in John Cohen, former counterterrorism official with the Department of Homeland Security. He is on joining us by phone right now. And John, as Pierre said, we've seen a pattern here, and we know that ISIS has called on its supporters to use vehicles like this.
That's right, George. ISIS and al-Qaeda have urged people in Western countries to use cars, guns, knives, anything they can get their hands on, and to conduct attacks at so-called soft targets, places where the public congregates, places that are difficult to secure. So we still don't know what the motive was behind this attack or this incident, but you can bet that law enforcement will be rapidly trying to, one, figure out if this is terrorism related, and if it is, figure out if there are any other people that are working with this individual.
Yeah, and presumably this did not seem to be a suicide attack. The driver was taken into custody just a few blocks away from the area where he hit those civilians, John.
No, that's exactly right. That was something that is somewhat unusual, where you'll have somebody who will conduct this type of an attack initially and then either kill themselves or try to confront police officers. So this individual was fleeing from the scene. But that said, it was a rental van. It sounds like he traveled, the driver traveled quite a distance down a sidewalk, striking people both in the street and on the sidewalk. And the fact that the driver is alive and can be questioned by police, and they can examine his electronics, his phone, his laptop, or any other type of device he might have, bodes well that law enforcement will figure out the motive quickly.
Again, a deadly incident in Toronto, Canada, unfolded around 1:30 this afternoon. 8 to 10 pedestrians hit, according to Toronto police, by a driver in a white van who moved off the thoroughfare onto the sidewalk, plowed them down one by one. We're going to continue to monitor the situation all afternoon. A full report tonight on World News Tonight with David Muir. Have a good afternoon.
This has been a special report from ABC News.